Hello guys, welcome to CodeRug. Hope you are doing great. Once again, welcome to ReactJs complete series. Today we are going to learn about React folder structure that React provides us. Once you install or make the setup of ReactJs, so let's get started. I think you have already visited my previous videos for React setup and what React is, because it will help you to understand React folder structure in a better way. Okay, as you can see, I have fresh React project up and running, which I have already installed. So you can see, once you make a setup of React fresh project, React provides us these default folders and files with React. So I'm going to explain you each and every folder one by one, what's the use case of each and every folder and what it's in need, because as per your project project increases, as per your requirement get increased, so depending upon that your files will also get increased. Lot of files you will modify, lot of other packages you need to install. So all these things you have to do depending upon your requirement or need, but this one is the default setup. Okay, so at first you can see we have node module folder. So node module folder, it contains React libraries and any other third-party library that is needed. Okay, now the public folder, so it holds the public assets of the application. It contains index.html. So if I open public HTML, so it contains several other library files like Favicon. So it's basically, once you have that up and running, this one is the Favicon. Okay, if you make Control U to check the source of that one, you can see this one is the Fav icon. Okay, after that you have index.html. so this one is the root of your application. After that you have, so it contains all the public assets of your application. Okay, now we have src folder. Src folder, it contains, now if you open the src folder, it contains several files like app.css, app.js, apptest.js, index.css, index.js, logo.svg and other various files. Now it contains, because src is the folder, always remember this one, src is the main folder of your application, because later or sooner you are going to create components, you are going to create helpers, you are going to create other libraries and other stuff for your application. So all the setup that you are going to make inside, now in future I am going to explain you what Redux is, how you can make use of Redux as well. So that setup also you have to make inside src. So src is the main or responsible folder of your React application. It contains everything of your application. Now if I check other files, which is definitely the git ignore, other than that we have package-lock.json, package.json and readme.file. Now readme.file, it provides the documentation to read about React topics. If I open that file, you can see it provides various help to make our React application run up and running. So just like if you scroll top to bottom, how you can make npm start, npm test. After that, if you, once your application has completed, you have to make a build. So for that one also you have to run a command npm run build. So it basically provide a documentation about the React topics. After that you have package.json. So it holds various metadata required for the project. It gives information to npm which allow to identify the project as well as handle the project and its dependencies. Now in future, because you have to implement the routing part, for routing you have to install third-party packages. and once you install the third-party packages, it lists all your dependencies here. Because in future, suppose you are a developer, now you have to give your whole project or code base to another developer, so you don't have to give node module, because it's contain lot of files, and once you make a zip of that one, it take a lot of time. So what you do, exclude the node module folder, and other than that just provide them complete folder. The main one is package.json and package.lock.json, because once they have these files, they can run the command npm install. So once they run the command npm install, depending upon what dependencies you have installed in your application, npm install will check what dependencies that your developer, the second developer, needs. So it install all those dependencies or libraries which you have installed by checking the dependencies object. Okay, so this one is the root folders and files we have discussed. Now we can go in depth. Like if I go into src folder, so it contain app.css. So it has app.css file. App.css is basically, as you know, that it contain css part of your application. Now it's not necessary that you have to follow this particular syntax. You can have your own folder structure, you can have your own structure by which you can create your application, but everything needs to be inside src. Now if I go to app.js, so this one is our component which we have created, or which React provides us. Because if you check the application happening, this one is the component which is running app.js. Now if I change anything, suppose if I'm changing 1, and if I'm saving, Control S, you can see it will get reflected here as well. Okay, so this one is the root component, and this root component we have to create. After that we have to export it. Okay, after that we have index.js. Inside index.js, this one is our file which contain, or which is the root one, because we are importing app.js inside our index.js. So you can see here it is, import app from app, and then once we have imported our app component, we are giving to our root.render. Okay, so this file index.js renders our component and registered service worker, like our DOM, React DOM. So it create a root, this React DOM dot create root, and document dot get element by ID root. So which document dot get element ID it is taking? It is taking this one from the index.html. So you can see div ID root. So you can give any ID name, whatever you want to give, but you have to change here as well, because it is our root index.html, and this one is our root div, because all the content or all the components which we are going to import, it will get placed to that particular location. Okay, now as you can see, I have updated my app.js component. You can see the reflection here as well. So it now you have to, if or you want to create new component as well, you can able to create new component here as well. So if I give you the example, suppose I am creating new file like new comp.js. Okay, I have created new component, so I will write const new component. So I'm just giving the name as per my choice. Now I did this one. Now I have to return something. So I am returning h1 h1, and here h1 as well. So I'm writing this is test compo component. Now once I am returning this one, I have to export it as well. Export default and name of my component. So once I export this one, I have to import this one as well. Now I want to replace our default app component which React provides us. So in place of that one, I'm going to render my component which I have created by my own. So import new component. Now if I make this one, I will show here as well. It's this one. So new component. Now if I refresh this one, you can see this is test component which we have written in the text. Now you are able to see the changes. The one component which React provided has design, it has logo, everything, but in our component which we have created, there's no CSS part. It's because if you check the app.js, here they are importing app.css logo and then they are placing it in this component. Because of that, it is showing you the design part as well. Now I'm just replacing with the default one which React provides us. Now if you refresh, you don't have to refresh actually, because once you save it, React automatically make hot reload, and because of hot reload, you can able to see the reflection immediately once you save the file. So in this tutorial, I have explained you the folder structure which React provides us. So in the next video, I am going to explain you other things like how you can, because in this video also I have given you how you can make the component part, but in a deeper way, I'm going to explain you how you can create your custom components or the components part. So this one is the folder structure which React provides us. Okay, so I think you get to know more in the upcoming videos of the folder structure and other things which React you have to need in the React file. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you guys.